memory verse, Romans 10:9.
I'm ready for it.
Let's do it.
Okay. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe in your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. God raised him from the dead. God raised him from the dead. One time. You confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe with your heart that God raised him from the dead, you will be saved. If you confess with your mouth Jesus is Lord and believe from the dead, you will be saved. Jesus is Lord. Jesus is Lord. God raised him from the dead. God raised him from the dead. Romans 10:9. Romans 10:9. More time. Romans 10:9. Romans 10:9. All right.
We'll see you later.
Yeah.
Hey, good morning, everybody. It's so good to see you again. Welcome back to Kids Worship Wednesday. And I know you've already had a really fun time singing. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to continue on with some of the stories that Miss Corey told on Sunday. So she told 2 stories, very short ones, that Jesus told when he was teaching the people that came to hear him, when he was teaching them about who he was, who God was, and why he came. And so you had the story of the lost sheep and the lost coin. Well, there's another longer story that Jesus told that same day, right after he told those 2 stories. And this story is found in the same place, Luke chapter 15, starting about verse 10. But I'm going to read it from one of my favorite books, the Jesus Storybook Bible. Jesus told this story about a boy who ran away. Once upon a time, there was a boy and his dad. Now, one day the boy gets to thinking, maybe if I didn't have my dad around telling me what is good for me all the time, I'd be happier. He's spoiling my fun, he thinks. Does my dad really want me to be happy? Does he even really love me? The son never thought of that before, but suddenly he's not sure anymore. So the son goes to his father and says, Dad, I'm better off without you. I can look after myself. Just give me my share of your money. His father is sad, but he won't force his boy to stay with him, so he gives his son what he wants. The son takes the money and goes on a long, long journey to a far-off country. And everything's wonderful and perfect for a while. He can go wherever he wants, do whatever he wants, be whoever he wants. He's the boss, and he thinks he's free. Sometimes he gets a strange, hungry, homesick feeling inside his heart, but then he just eats more or drinks more or buys more clothes or goes to more parties until it all goes away. Here's a picture. But soon his money runs out. And so do his friends. He ends up getting the only job he can find, feeding pigs. One day he is so hungry and so desperate, he even tries some of the piggy food. What am I doing? He says suddenly, as if he has woken from a nightmare. He spits, yuck, all of it, yuck, out of his mouth. My father is rich, and here I am in a pigsty, eating piggy food. He wipes his mouth and dusts himself off. I'm going home. There he is. Can you see him there? Right down there with the pigs, rutting for the food. As he starts for home, though, he begins to worry. Dad won't love me anymore. I've been too bad. He won't want me for a son anymore. I'm still smelly and I stink. So he practices his I'm sorry speech. But all this time, what the boy didn't know was that day after day, his dad had been standing on the front porch, straining his eyes, looking and waiting for his son to come home. He just can't stop loving his son. He longs for the sound of his boy's voice, and he can't be happy until he gets him back. The son is still a long way off, but his dad sees him coming. What will his dad do? Fold his arms and frown and shout, "That'll teach you. Just you wait, young man." No, that's not how the story goes. The dad leaps off the porch, races down the hill, through the gap in the hedge, up the road. Before his son can even begin his I'm sorry speech, his dad runs to him, throws his arms around him, and can't stop kissing him. There's the dad. Let's have a party, his dad shouts. My boy is home. He ran away. I lost him, but now I have him back. His dad didn't care that he was all smelly. In fact, his dad got him a brand new coat to wear and a robe and put clean clothes on him right over his dirty, dirty clothes that he had worn to feed the pigs with. Then Jesus told the crowd that he was telling a story to, God is like the dad who couldn't stop loving his boy. And you people are like the son who said, does my dad really want me to be happy? Jesus told people this story to show them what God is like and to show people what they are like. So they could know however far they ran, however well they hid, however lost they were, it wouldn't matter because God's children could never run too far or be too lost for God to find them. You know from what we've talked about before this month on Kids Worship that we are a very special part of God's creation. Last week, you made self-portraits to show how special and unique God made each one of us and that we are His masterpiece. So this story is a little bit different because we are God's masterpieces and still sometimes we turn away from Him. Have you ever played hide and seek and you didn't want to be found? Or maybe you got found and you didn't think it was fair, so you just decided to quit and not play the game anymore. Well, that's kind of like what happens with us sometimes. Jesus comes to find us. God has sent Jesus to find us. And God knows where we are, and He sent Jesus to find us. And Jesus reaches out His hand and says, come to me. But sometimes we don't want to be found, and so we don't take Jesus' hand and we don't come to Him. But you know what? Whatever that reason is, sometimes we think we're not good enough, or maybe we're not clean enough, or whatever, or maybe we just want our own way, like this son did. He didn't want to live with his dad anymore because he thought his dad didn't treat him fairly. He thought his dad didn't let him do what he wanted. But you know what? His dad was just waiting for him the whole time. And that's how God is. It doesn't matter if we turn away from him sometimes. It doesn't matter if we don't want to be found. God is waiting for us. And he will always be waiting for us. And so today I would like you to think about this. Think about if that God has found you, and think about if you want to be found. Or I'd like you to talk to your mom and dad and your brothers and sisters about how Jesus has found you. And if you aren't sure that Jesus has found you, ask your mom and dad about it, and ask them if they can help you to understand what it means to be found by Jesus. Hey, back again, and I've got just one simple little craft for this week. There are going to be a lot of things for families to get ready for the Good Friday service, so I'm just going to keep today's craft real simple. It's mostly a craft too for the younger kids. It's for pretend play. So you older kids, if you want something to think about doing, there are so many really cool backyard scavenger hunts, neighborhood treasure hunt things. All you have to do is Google them, search them, and you can find something really fun to do, outdoor activity. So this is going to be making a sheep mask that you can play with, okay? Okay, so you go ahead and get your paper plate cut, and the easiest way to do that is to just kind of fold it a little bit, make a slit in it, and then just follow around and cut it right on the ridge. For the outside, so that you end up with this nice ridge that you can use to paste your cotton on, okay? So then the next step after that is I would just take the inside of that and use it as a little plate and squish a bunch of glue on it. Now you can use a glue stick or paste or anything. The glue works really well, and it seems to be really easy for younger kids to do. There's lots of things you could use if you don't have the cotton. But if you do have cotton balls, the first thing you want to do is pick one up and kind of stretch it out a little bit. And then you're going to take your paper plate that you cut out, the outline, you're just going to dip your stretched out cotton ball in the paper plate, and then you're going to put it around on the outside here. Okay, so then you go ahead and you do that all the way around until you've got it all covered. And then for some ears, what you can do is what I did is I just took the inside part of the paper plate and I just kind of freehand handed some ears. And so there we have it, a lamb mask to use for play Find the Lost Lamb. Thanks, have